This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's start with today's demo. It's Demo1, and this demo is about mobile automation with Appium, right? So I am assuming probably you have heard about Appium before. Somewhere might be in your companies or in your, with your friends, or you know at least the word Appium. What's Appium and why it's used. So today we will talk about the automation of mobile apps with Appium, and in our agenda I will discuss all these points. First of all, I will tell something about me, and then I will tell you about mobile first approach, then mobile automations, its advantages, disadvantages, then we will talk about Appium and advantages. Then I will briefly discuss about the whole curriculum, the prerequisites and the details, and then what you can assume or what you can take at the end of this course. We will discuss about this thing and what's this special with this course, what add-ons we will get with this course. We will talk about this. And at the end, I will take your questions and answers. But even if you have some questions in between, then feel free to ask them or feel free to interrupt me at any time, whenever you have some questions. Does it make sense? Okay. So for me, I'm Gaurav, and I'm having 13 years of experience in software testing. So till now, I'm working as software developer in test, and I have my contribution for mobile and web, both kind of applications. Even I have automated the back end and the front end. So I'm kind of a full stack QA automation engineer. And I'm also very prominent with the trainings. So approximately 300 students so far were trained by me. And with Isha Training Solutions, it's almost half of the year that I am involved, and there were some previous batches of Appium which I have already took with Isha Training Solutions, and I'm continuing the same kind of things with Appium, and mobile automation with Isha Training Solutions right now. So first of all, let's discuss about the mobile first approach. So what is mobile first approach right now? Because we are hearing about this mobile first approach very frequently in our day-to-day life, right? So the thing is that mobile development is need of current hour, and as per the global statistics, 50% of the market share is captured by the mobile, and trend is increasing day by day. So if you assume the total traffic, right, the total traffic for any website or any website or any URL or something like that. So around 50.33% as per the latest statistics, this is coming from mobile, and then 47.04 is coming from desktop. When I'm talking about desktop, it comprises of the laptops or the normal computers, whatever. And if I'm talking about mobile, then I'm assuming these are the tablets, these are the mobile devices, right? And even in the mobile devices, we have Android devices and iOS devices. So as you can see that the major chunk or the major share, around 50% of the traffic is coming from mobile, then it's a need of an hour that we have to think about the mobile development and mobile testing. So previously, what was the trend? People were more prone to the website testing. They are creating the web apps, and especially in banking, e-commerce, and all other these sectors. But now, as users are switching to the mobile, then it's very prominent that we have to concentrate on the mobile specifications as well, whether they are development and whether they are testing. And that's the meaning of the mobile first approach, that whenever we are trying to make the prototypes, whenever we are trying to make the designs, the software development lifecycle works like this. We are designing, and then we are analyzing, and then we are doing some coding, and when there is some testing. So during this designing phase, right, during the designing phase, we are taking mobile into our consideration. That is the mobile first approach. And when I'm saying mobile consideration, so we will take about the layouts of the mobile responsiveness, mobile designs, and creating the mobile web apps. All those things are taken into consideration at the very first point of time. So that is the mobile first approach. And because of this mobile first approach, if we are developing something, it's very evident that we have to test them as well, right? So that's why, because the mobile first approach in most of the companies, whether they are e-commerce or banking, they are creating the mobile web apps. And if they are creating the mobile web apps, there's a great responsibility to test them. And that's why mobile automation is, especially right now, it's in a huge demand. So there are a lot of tools for doing the mobile automation, and Appium is one of the automation tool which is being used for doing the mobile automation. Now coming to the advantages, as you know, if you ever have done this automation with any tool, so every automation, whether it's a web automation or mobile automation, it comes with a lot of advantages. Some of the advantages are, the increase of the test coverage, savings of the timings, improving the accuracy, improving the reliability, supporting the CI/CD concepts, and handle the device diversity. These are some of the mobile automation advantages. So one important advantage is device diversity. So in mostly in interviews, this question is asked, that why automation is necessary, and if you are not giving this point like handle device diversity, then your answer is not completed. Whenever I am talking about handle device diversity, it seems if you am creating an e-commerce app, for example Amazon, or for example I have created Snapdeal, whatever, just Flipkart. So if I have, because my user base is quite huge, some people are using Android 8, some are or at Android 9, some are at Android 10, some are at Android 11. So for catering this kind of huge this group, it's very important that we have to run our scripts on different kind of platforms and different kinds of devices. So that is the main purpose of the automation, because we are running our scripts on all the devices. So that's why the coverage, the cost, the time, everything is within the limit. So we are able to reduce the cost, and we are able to reduce the time, and also we can handle the device diversity. So if automation is not in place, then probably what we have to do the manual execution on all kind of devices. But right now this is not the case. So mostly what our most of the organizations are doing, they are creating the automation scripts and then running on the different devices that they are having. So that's also an added advantage, especially in the mobile case, because you have a very challenging or very diversified kind of hardwares. Hardwares means mobile devices, operating systems, and all other this. Even sometimes you have seen this thing, regardless of the operating system versions, if you are going from one brand to another brand. So for example, Samsung to Huawei to some Redmi Note, so all other devices. So sometimes apps are behaving differently. So while launching our app in the market, we have to cater all these requirements. And for catering all these requirements, mobile automation has its own advantages, and that's why mobile automation come into the place. Now coming for Appium, why we are learning Appium and why Appium is important. So the reason is very simple, because it's open source tool. That's one of the major reason. It's open source. Another thing is it's supporting this Android and iOS, both of the devices. So we can test our Android apps, we can test our iOS apps, we can test our hybrid apps with the help of Appium. It allows multiple language for the automation. So if you want to use Java, you can use. Okay, if you want to use C sharp, you can use. So all these kind of languages can be used, and then we are able to run the test on devices and the emulators. All these things are supported by that, and finally it's open source. So there's a huge community behind it. People who are amending the code, people who are adding the new utilities, new existing functionalities, and improving the existing functionalities and adding new functionalities. So that is the main advantage with the Appium, that why we are doing, why we are going with Appium, because a lot of advantages are associated by that. We have some other tools in the market, and especially Deepak is asking a question, what is mean by hybrid app? I will take this question after this session. So we will discuss it. So once we will start our class first, I will answer this question in quite detail, that what exactly the hybrid app is. And at the end of this session, I will also explain a bit so that it's familiar to you that what exactly the hybrid apps are. Okay, let's see the curriculum now. So what what you guys are going to learn or going to achieve within this course. That's very important because you all are here to learn something. So this is our curriculum. So at the very sorry in this curriculum, first of all, we will study about the mobile testing overview, where we will cover a lot of topics, that what are the different mobile platforms, what are the different mobile apps, their characteristics and limitations. So here in the second class, when we will see what are the mobile apps characteristics and limitations, we will learn about all kind of apps, native apps, hybrid app. Okay, so all these things will be covered there. And then all these things will be covered in the mobile testing overview section. Then after that, we will learn more about mobile testing overview, where we will learn what is mobile testing lifecycle, what is mobile development lifecycle, what are the various approaches for the mobile testing. Here we will also see a bit about the Android architecture, that what's Android is and what is the architecture of the Android. At the day 3, we will see how to set up Appium. So all these things, how to set up Java, Node.js, NPM, Android SDKs, Appium server installation with NPM, with desktop client, all these things we will see. After that, we will see what is Appium Doctor and how to setting up the environment variables, how to set up emulators and Android SDK, all other things we will see here. After that, there's a unit for Android Debug Bridge. So we will see what ADB is, what are the different advantages associated with ADB, what are ADB commands. Then we will also see the installation of IntelliJ IDEA, which will be our editor for this. And yeah, we will see all those things. Then after that, we will see the architecture of Appium. So we will cover how Appium is working behind the scenes, what are the what's the important points from architecture point of view. So all those things we will see. After that, we will see the starting with the Appium script. So here we will see how to install or uninstall an as any app with Appium, and then what are the desired capabilities, how to close any app, how to handle the permissions of any app, how to put any app in a background, how to make app in a foreground, and all other things. After that, we will see some locator strategies, because whenever you want to identify some element in any tool, you need the locators. So we will see what are the different locator strategies, how to build the customized XPaths, how Appium Inspector will help us to find the elements, or what's the weight mechanism in Appium. So all these things we will see with this locator strategies chapter. Then we will see some basic operations. Basic operations is how to send some text, how to click a button, how to handle the drop down buttons, how to handle the alerts, how to press a button, how to long press a button. All these kind of actions we will see with the next with this chapter. And after that, we will see automating application with touch action. So there are certain touch actions which we are using in mobile application, like scrolling, long press, swiping, mouse hover, move to some coordinate, double click. All these things we will see here in this, under the hood of this chapter. Right, and after that we will see that how to automate some spinners and some buttons, something switch buttons, all these things. Then how to automate the Android key events. So if you want to hit any stroke, if you want to make a stroke of enter, or some button pressing manually this button, so we will see. After that, we will see how to lock or unlock the device. So you can also lock the device and unlock the device with the help of Appium. So that's also possible. We will see. And we will see how to read the notifications and notifications bar. So in Android, you have seen there are some notifications related with app. Some notifications, for example, notifications related with, you have so many messages, or you have one message in this app, or your location is this. All these notifications are there. So we will see how we can read these notifications, and how to interact with these notifications. This we can see. And then we will also see that how to automate the network configurations, like toggle Wi-Fi, toggle data, all these things. So if we want to stop the Wi-Fi, or we stop the data, or toggle it, how we can deal with all these things. So that's also quite possible with Appium. So we will see all those things as well. After that, we will see the web views and the automation view. So web views means, in sometimes in mobile apps, this is the concept of basically the hybrid apps. So in the native apps, everything is automated with the help of the native libraries. Deepak, I am answering your question right now. So in native apps, what we are doing, everything is automated with the help of the native libraries. So if I am talking about Android and iOS, we have a lot of native libraries which are used to make any applications. And we are using all those native libraries which are provided by Android or which are provided by iOS. So that's why these are known as native apps. But in hybrid apps, these apps are made a bit kind of they are using the native libraries, but apart from native libraries, they are using the concept of JavaScript, they are using the concept of HTML, they are using the concept of CSS, right? And more or like sometimes there are certain navigations which are opening up in the browser. So the main example is if you have gone through the Khan Academy app, just if you have not gone through, please go through it, Khan Academy. So you can see like it's more or less when you install this app, this app has a lot of navigations which are opening in browsers, a lot of navigations which are not using the native support of the libraries. So that's why these kind of apps are known as hybrid apps. So in simple word, hybrid apps are the apps which are not only using the native support for the platforms, native support for Android or native support for iOS. These are the apps which are taking the advantage of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and there are some parts which are opening into this mobile browser. All those things. So all those things uh, uh, are the main constitute of the hybrid app, right? So in this chapter, we will see what are the web views, how the hybrid apps are behaving, how we can switching from one view to another view, how we can kill the activities, all those things we will see. So till unit 11, everything is there related with Appium, how we can interact and how we can do all those things with Appium. But after unit 11, when we are going to unit 12 and 13, this is completely with the framework. Because once this course will be there, once this course will be finished, what is the advantage of this course is we will give you a demo project, right? So what we are going to do is we will take one demo app, right? And we will use the APK file of this app. And on top of this demo app, we will creating our demo project. And this demo project is in form of framework. So we are creating the framework of our own. We are writing some test case on this framework. So all those things will be the part of this course. And that's why we are doing this course, right? So this demo project will be there, this framework will be there, some test cases will be there, and we will also give you some specifications which you have to put in your resume, that if you are showing that you have done one project with Appium, then what you have to specify in the resume, what you have to write in the resume, all this material will also be there, right? So that's the main intent of this course. So all these things after point number 11 is related with the framework. And what is the architecture of our framework? The framework will be based on Cucumber. Framework will be based on Maven, right, and Java. So these are the top ingredients of our framework, right? And it's a BDD framework, which is also known as behavior-driven development. So it's a BDD framework, and we will give you all the details of this framework, the architecture diagram of this framework, every in and out of this framework will be shared with you, so that you can explain in the in your interview that what kind of framework you have learned and how you have created the test cases, right? So everything after that, so first of all we will read about the Cucumber and specs, that how to write the feature files, what are the steps files, what is Cucumber runner, what are Cucumber tags, how we can generate the reports in Cucumber, how we can reusable how we can achieve code reusability in Cucumber. All those things will be there. And then we will see how to create the page object. So page object is a very prominent design pattern which we are using for automation testing, right? So this is also used for creation of the framework. So we will see all those things there. And after that, we will see how to integrate TestNG, Maven, and Cucumber. So that is also very important from framework point of view, that we have to integrate Maven, we have to integrate TestNG, and how we can write the Appium test with the help of Maven, TestNG, and Cucumber, right? And then we will be writing the automation test cases for our sample app, right? And once this thing is done, the final step of the framework will be to integrate with the CI/CD related stuff. So for CI/CD, we will be using Jenkins. And at the end, once this framework is prepared, we will uh, and we have written the test cases on top of this framework, we will integrate it with CI/CD pipeline. So we will integrate it with Jenkins pipeline, right? So this is the last step. So at the end of this course, what you will what you will be having in your hand, you will know what Appium is, right? Then you are able to create the framework, and then finally you are able to write some test cases on the top of this framework, and then you know what CI/CD is and how to integrate your Appium test cases with CI/CD, right? These are the important things, and these are the important aspects which we are going to learn within this course. And there are some last units also. So this is knowledge about the cloud infrastructure. So we will see what are the different clouds providers, what is Sauce Labs, how Sauce Lab is working, and then we will see how to run some of the tests on cloud service provider. So in the course curriculum, for the sake of easiness, we have written Sauce Labs, but sometimes we are having issues with the Sauce Labs related with the performance, related with the time and other things. So we have another similar test cloud platform which is known as Kubiton. So we will also see how Kubiton is working and how we can run our test on Kubiton. So all these things, cloud related things, will be covered with this unit, this chapter. And at the end, we will see a grid execution or the parallel execution of the test case, that how we can set up the parallel test cases with the help of Appium. What is the advantages of this approach? So in this way, this is the whole curriculum that we will go from step by step. So starting from this point, starting from the very basic till advanced topics. So we will be covering all these things in our in our curriculum, right? Then what are the prerequisites for this course? I am assuming that you must be having a basic knowledge of Java. So at least when I'm talking about the basic knowledge of Java, it means you know what object-oriented programming is, what are variables, how you can write a simple code, with Java, what are strings, what are classes, what are objects, all these things. So this is a prerequisite that I'm assuming that you must be aware about the basic concepts of Java. Then basic concepts of software testing, that's also be you should be familiar with. So basic testing, when I'm talking about software testing, it means we must be aware about how to write the test cases, what are the requirement documentations, what are the traceability matrices, all these concepts. So though I will be brushing up these concepts and I'm giving you a bit of additional knowledge when I will be covering this topic, but it's good if you already have this kind of knowledge and you already know what test cases are, how to write the test cases, what are the requirement documentations, what is static, dynamic analysis, all those things. So we will be using these terminologies throughout our course. So it's always better if you have some knowledge on software testing. Then basic knowledge of Git is also required. So when I'm talking about basic knowledge of Git, it's just pushing the code from Git, retrieving the code from Git, all those things. Because at the end, we will also give you a Git repository where the code will be there, code will be pushed. So that's also one of the prerequisite. Like, it's always better to have a knowledge of Git, but if someone is lacking the basic knowledge of Git, then I will also explain it a bit in a class. So whenever we are interacting with the Git, I will explain it quickly, that what Git is and how we have to deal with that. Okay, and so some JDs, how the job descriptions of this mobile testing look like. So whenever we are going to the portals, so probably you are seeing something like that. You need some experience, they need some experience in manual automation testing, then 2+ hands-on experience in automation, especially with Appium, then experience in either Selenium or Appium based automation framework, testing experience in web or mobile domain, proficient in one programming language is, for example, Java. So in most of the JDs, what are the keywords you are going to see is the very important keyword is Appium, some year of experience with Appium, right? And then another keyword is Java, right? Another keyword is Cucumber, or you can say BDD, behavior driven development. And then another keyword is Java. Then another keyword is CI/CD or Jenkins. And we are covering all these topics over here. So not only with this interview, if you are going for any interview, regardless of Appium or any other thing, we will be covering all these topics. So you will be knowing what BDD is, you will be knowing what CI/CD is, you will be knowing, what Appium is, what mobile automation is. So this course is not only helping you in Appium related things, but on a long term, this course is going to help you if you are going for any interview for software testing, any interview for mobile automation. So if you have the concept of Appium, that how it's working, probably it's very easier for you to adapt with any other tool, right? So Appium is just a tool, but you will understand the concept, you will understand the mechanism which is behind the scenes, and this mechanism will help you to automate any application with the help of any other tool, right? That's also one of the key feature of this course, that you will get all this knowledge. What are the course details? The duration will be 30 to 32 hours, so 1 hour per day, and it depends if we are working on Saturdays or Sundays. If you want, then if we agree that we have to make the classes on Saturday, Sunday, then it's fine. And if we don't want to make it on Saturday and Sunday, then it's also fine. So this schedule is bit of customized, but the total duration is 30 to 32 hours. I will not exceed, and it will not be limited. So it will be exactly 30 to 32 hours. That's the main thing. And then you will get a lot of live examples and demo. And at the end of this course, as I promised you, there will be a demo project, there will be a demo framework, there will be requirement documentation. So everything, architecture diagram will be there, resume project specifications will be there. So you don't have to worry anything. If you are, after completing this course, you are going in an interview, you are preparing for interview, so everything will be provided to you, that what you have to write in the resume, right? And then what you have to put in the requirements documentation, what you have to write for the framework, all the things, interview questions, all these things will be there. And at the end of every topic, we are dealing with the interview questions as well. So after 1 hour of the class, I will be giving you some of the interview questions which are related with that session. And at the end of the course, the whole setup, there are more than 150 interview questions that are already prepared. So all those interview questions with their solution and explained, detailed explanation will be provided to you. And that is my experience, that whenever you are going for interview of the mobile automation, mostly the questions are lying within these 150 questions, right? Because the thing is that whenever you are going for an interview, there are a lot of questions and there are a lot of topics. So you are going for a mobile automation interview, so probably they will ask something about CI/CD, BDD, Appium, all other things. So if they are asking about the topics that we have already covered, this is my assumptions, with because I am talking with my previous students, who have already attended these interviews, and the experience of them, and the kind of intuition which I am getting, around 80 to 90% questions are from these 150 questions. So I'm interacting a lot with my students, even after if they are going for interviews, so to see what kind of interview questions are asked. And that's the basic assumption, or that's my intuition, or that's my understanding, that at least 80 to 90% questions are coming from these 150 questions, the set of 150 questions. And at the end, you will also get a certificate from Isha Training Solutions that you have already completed this Appium related course. What you can take at the end, you know what Appium is, you know what BDD is, you will know what CI/CD concepts are, you know how to create a framework, you know how to put all those things, Appium related things in the resume, you know what cloud infrastructure is, you know how to run the test in cloud infrastructure is. So all these topics, all these keywords, you will understand in these 30 to 32 hours of course. Okay, so even if Appium is not it's not very it's very specific to Appium, but in the side by side you will learn a lot of things. You will learn about CI/CD, BDD, Cucumber, Maven, build tools, all those things we will take into consideration. So it's a complete package where you are getting an opportunity to learn and discuss a lot of things, implement those things with the help of a demo project, and then put these things and get advantage from those things. What are the another added advantages for this course? So that we have already discussed, preparation from interview point of view. That's very important, because all the topics which I am dealing with here, I am giving you the interview questions at the end of every day. So every day, once the class is off, once we are all about to off the class, then I will take some of the interview questions related with those topics and then share it with you. And we will be discussing all those interview questions. So that's one of the very prominent feature, because at the end we are learning something to crack some interview, to get some job, or to start something in a from scratch, right? So that's why interview questions are very important. Then we are taking the examples from the demo app. So these demo apps are not the app which I have made by myself. These are the apps which are already in production, because we can get the APK files of these apps. So that's another very important advantage of this course, because if you are doing this course or with with some other institute or with some other instructor, mostly people are taking the apps which they have created. So these are not the apps which are fully, or which are with the very high standards with in comparison to the real world apps. But here we will take the example of the apps which are already in production, right? So we will only doing demos on those kind of apps. Then BDD framework creation, we will see how to create the framework with the help of BDD. Then we will see CI/CD related things, that what are the CI/CD related concepts. And then we will also see the infrastructure setup as per the latest version in 2020. So there are a lot of latest versions of Node.js, latest version of Appium, latest version of IntelliJ or all other things. So most of the tutorials which you can see on internet, they are with the older versions, but with this we can see, or we can learn the latest version related things. So that is also an added advantage with this course, because we are using all the latest versions of all the things during this course. Okay, now it's your turns. Questions and answers. Any question and answer from any one of you. Anything from? Yes, I got one question. Deepak is saying no, sir. Okay. Lata is there, Samir is there, Sudarshan is there, Khaja is there, Jyoti is there.
Sir, this is Jyoti. So,
Yes.
this is the time, are you every day taking class?
Yes, this is the time, usually in the morning, but we can always, usually this is the best time for me, but we can always discuss about this. Like if you are at the end of, at the end of this demo, if people are doing the registration, and it depends, in which time zone we are going to have this course, and based on that, there can be, a bit of modification. But right now, let's assume that this will be the time. But if you all agree on some other time, and this requirement is coming, demand is coming from all of you, then probably we can shift the time.
If 1 hour early, then it's better for me, or weekend class. No?
Please ask with this Kumar sir.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
responsible. Anita Kumar
Okay,
sir.
that's fine. Whatever everybody's agree.
Yes.
Fine. Okay, thanks.
Then there is question from Lata. Lata is asking, what is the scripting language? Yes, we are using Java. So scripting language for the whole curriculum will be Java. Another question from Deepak. What is the what's the minimum system requirement, like 8 GB, 16 GB RAM preferred? 8 GB, you can do whatever you want to do with 8 GB. So there is, because to be honest, we are not developing an Android app, rather we are testing an Android app. So even if you are having 8 GB, I think this is quite good. 8 GB is quite good. You don't have to exceed from 8 GB. Not in any case with 8 GB, the things will be going smooth. But if you are having a bit less than 8 GB, then probably with automation you will not face anything. But if you are developing something I mean to say, if you are developing something with Android Studio, at that point of time you can get some problems, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Then there's a question from Samir. Samir is asking, in the demo you mentioned diversity of device, how we can test with different devices. So see, right now with the demo, I will show you with one device, with one of the real device, and then we have emulators, right? So you can, whatever the scripts you have write, you can test it on different kind of emulators, and these emulators are based on different versions of operating system. These emulators are based on different brand names. So we will see all those things in the coming lectures, that how we can integrate our app with different kind of emulators, different kind of real devices. So all those things will be covered. But as of now, to answer your questions, the diversity of the devices can be achieved with the help of, because the script will remain same. Whatever we are scripting with Appium, that will remain same. And the only thing is we have to attach a device, a different devices with that script. So if I am using Huawei device, it is running on Huawei. If I am attaching Redmi Note, it's running on Redmi Note. And we will see all those things, that how to attach a device, how to run the scripts on different kind of emulators. All those things we will see in our next classes. Then there's a question from Khaja that can we use Eclipse instead of IntelliJ? Yes, you can. It's quite possible that you can use Eclipse instead of IntelliJ. So I will show you, what I am going to show you here is with IntelliJ ID. But if you would like to use Eclipse instead of IntelliJ, you are most welcome to do this. Samir is asking a question. In the actual production, we do not use emulators. How we test in actual test environment in a company? So that we are going to see when we will discuss all these topics with the cloud infrastructure. So in most of the companies, we are using this cloud infrastructure. Cloud infrastructure means, that I already discussed about a bit of Sauce Labs, and I already discussed about this Kubiton. So these are the actual test environments which we are using in the company. So these are something which are on the cloud, and we have to take the create the accounts on these cloud service providers. And then in these cloud service providers, there are a number of devices. So based on the purchasing fees, or based on the cost, what kind of licensing we are having. So we are using all those things on the real world environment. So for example, if I am giving them 100 euros per month, then I have access of 10 devices, 20 devices. If I am giving them 200 euros, 300 euros, there might be a chance I'm having access of 50 devices. So it depends on the purchasing license and the license cost which is involved. And that's how in actual environment we are testing it. In some companies, they are setting up their own lab. So they have 5 or 6 main devices on which they have to test. So they are setting up their lab, and with the help of this lab, they are testing it in the real world environment. Does it answer your question, Samir? Okay. Then there's another question from Khaja. Please explain a testing framework. So this testing framework which we are using will behavior-driven development, and it's a kind of a hybrid framework, testing framework. So it will use the concepts of data-driven, it will use the concepts of key-driven. So it's a kind of hybrid, and we are saying it BDD. This framework is made up of Cucumber. Then all the Cucumber files which we are writing will be made, the steps files will be made in Java, and we are using page objects. Then for build tools, we are using Maven. For CI/CD related things, we are using Jenkins. And for automating the mobile app, we are using Appium. So it's built on Cucumber, Maven, and all other things. Khaja is asking, cloud environment used in AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud? Yes, it's for Google. We have the similar service for Azure and AWS. So for what AWS is providing for mobile is AWS Form, right? So AWS Form is a similar kind of a platform which we are talking about, like Sauce Labs or Kubiton. So it's just there are a lot of devices, and we have to take the licensing fee. We have to give the licensing fee, and based on the licensing fee, we can get the permissions that how many devices we are using. So it's more or less like the same. In the AWS, in the AWS, if we want to get some instances in the same way in AWS Form, we can get the control of the mobile devices. And it's same for Azure. Also, Microsoft, they are having this the mobile cloud native platform. But usually people are using more Sauce Labs and Kubiton. So these are the very trending the service providers which we are using in day-to-day life. Any other question? Lata is asking how many hours in a week the training is. It is usually we are doing it from Monday to Friday, 5 hours a week, right? But it also depends, you know, when the final classes will be formed, final batch will be formed. At that time, it's a question of a discussion. If everybody of you would like to do on a weekend, then there will be just weekend batches. If you would like to do on a weekdays, then there will be just weekdays batches. And if all of you agree on this thing that we have to do on a weekdays and weekends, then probably we can customize it that way. So it's just a kind of a discussion. And if anybody don't prefer weekends, then that's fine. Usually I also don't prefer weekends, so I would like to do just on the weekdays. Okay, then Khaja is asking another question, native web and hybrid application. So hybrid, I already discussed about that. Native applications are that. So anyhow, we have to cover all these topics in the day one demo, but I'm explaining it a bit for your reference. Native applications are the applications which are taking the advantage of the native libraries which are available in Android or iOS, because whenever we are doing something on Android or whenever we are doing something on iOS, we have some native libraries which are provided by Android and iOS. You know, for example, if you want to get this GPS location, you have a native library which will help you to deal with GPS related things. For battery, there's a native library which will help you to interact with the batteries or batteries related operations. So all these applications who are just taking the advantage of the native libraries, these are native applications. Hybrid applications are a bit different. They are using the concepts of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and also the concepts of native libraries. You know, so these are the hybrid applications. So whenever you have the hybrid application, you will see there are a lot of parts of hybrid applications which are written in HTML and CSS, which are taking the advantage of JavaScript and all other things. Web applications is nothing but web application is nothing but the web. Whenever you are going to the website and whenever you are putting something on some browser, whenever you are navigating to some link, all these things are web application. Okay, any other question? Khaja is asking mobile device testing, mobile application testing. We will see it's in our next demo. So mobile device testing and mobile application testing is nothing but device testing is a bit wide term, and application testing is when you are testing some particular application, and device testing is when you are testing a device, when you are testing the feature of the device, with different set of hardwares, with different set of RAMs, with different set of configurations. So that's the basic difference. Device testing is related with the configuration, RAM, the different kind of permutation and combinations which we have to deal with the device, a kind of bit of hardware. And application testing is when you are trying to install some application and when then you are trying to see the behavior of application, that is mobile application testing. Jyoti is saying no question. Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Okay, if not, then that's the Khaja is asking about the fee structure. Please contact with Anita or Kumar sir. They will be in a situation to give you the exact fee structure. But as per I know, it's around $109 USD and around 7,000 for Indian students. That's the fee structure. But yes, please talk to Kumar sir because he's the one who is organizing this. So they are the one who are in a situation to tell you in details. And finally, tomorrow for the class, I think tomorrow there will be no class, and then from day after tomorrow. So what information I am having that today is 16, so tomorrow there will be no class, and after that there will be the class, and we are starting the training from there onwards. So tomorrow it will be off because they will be doing some more marketing around this demo videos and all other things. But day after tomorrow, that will be the very first day when we have to start the course. Do we need to install any software on machines? Yes. lot of things that you have to install. You have to install Android Studio, you have to install a lot of other things, you have to install Maven, Java, all other things, but we will see all those things once we start the course. So there's a kind of a documentation which I will provide you, a detailed documentation, and based on that documentation we will try to install all the things in the class. So there is nothing that you have to install as your own, right? So everything will be done in the class itself. You don't worry about that what you have to install before. So probably nothing is there which you have to install before. Everything we will see in the class, and there's a detailed documentation around that. Okay, then okay, thanks for all for attending this session. And yes, tomorrow there will be off, and we are going to see each other after day after tomorrow. Yes, have a nice day ahead. Bye.